Robberta Bobbie, and you're joining us on another episode on Heartfelt with Bobbie here at Dialogues with Jagero. And I am super excited because I promised you guys this. I will be bringing the great Maurice Matheka, the Squat King. Do people call you the Squat King, or am I just the one who's coming up with this term right now?
The two terms, Squat King and Vagina Whisperer.
Someone already beat me to it?
Hey everyone, I'm super excited to share something amazing with you today. This video is brought to you by Lemfi, an incredible app that has become a game changer to families in the diaspora sending money to Africa. If you have friends or family in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, or Uganda, Lemfi makes it very, very easy for you if you are living in the USA or Canada and you want to send money directly from your card. So the good thing about Lemfi is that you do not need to top up any wallet at all. And the best part is that there is zero transaction fees. Transfers happen in just under a minute. Lemfi offers competitive rates, which means you always get the best bang for your buck. If you download the app with my referral link or enter my referral code DWJ, I'll say that again, DWJ, at sign up and make your first transaction of over $100, you will receive $20 cashback. And don't forget about the rewards program. You can earn points with every transfer you make. The more you send, the more points you accumulate. The best part, you can easily turn these points into cash for your next transfer. Thank you very much and welcome to DWJ. Dialogues with Jagero again.
I've been doing this for a minute, so.
So how does it feel to be the Squat King?
It feels great for me because it tells me that I've been consistent and I've perfected my art for not me to call myself that, but for somebody else to call you that. And especially when I get it, when I go out clubbing or something, and a guy comes up to me and goes like, "Hey, Squad Master." It feels amazing. It feels amazing not because of ego, which we are about as men, but because it tells me for him to call me that, there must be something I'm doing right.
I'm a T.
Yeah, so yeah, it's it feels good. It feels
I like
good.
that. I like that.
It feels good.
So Maurice is a sexologist, and today we are going to talk about the orgasm gap. The orgasm gap is something that has been under research for a while, and it simply states that more men are getting orgasms out of their sexual relationships with women than the women are. And this is also in comparison to women having sex with other women and women having sex with their toys. Women are better at pleasuring themselves, pleasing themselves sexually than they ever achieve this sort of orgasm when they're having heterosexual sex. And I am here with Maurice so that we can try to debunk this and talk about, what orgasming is, how to achieve orgasms. Is this even real? Do you think the orgasm gap is a real thing even?
Yes, it is. It's very real. It's real based on, the stats are very bleak for the vagina. 90% of women around the world will never have an orgasm.
Ooh.
Never.
90 is a big number.
90% of women will never have an orgasm.
My goodness. Hawajui utamu wa maisha.
Well, to be honest, they're not even in a place to know they deserve one, or their bodies can have one. Based on their social teachings, most of the women are going to live their lives knowing that their duty is to pleasure us men, not themselves. So she's not even aware of the conversation you and I are having. She knows.
It's not even a conversation.
No, it's not. In her world, it's not even something. It's not a conversation she has with her girls. She's not in a position to say, "Hubby keeps coming and I've never come." She doesn't know that. She doesn't even know that her vagina can do 99% of the things that it can do that it will never do with her.
Yeah.
So she's in a totally different space. 10% of women around the world have had an orgasm. Only 1% of the 10% can tell you that they can have an orgasm maybe 7 out of 10 times. And most of them will have an orgasm if they give themselves self-stimulus, not through penetration.
These numbers are so disappointing.
They're bleak. And you see, actually, the people who are affected most when I talk about this, it's not even women who own the vaginas. It's men. Do you know why?
How? Why?
Men will, because every man is good in bed until a woman tells him otherwise. So when Matheka says 90% of women will never have an orgasm, I have then told a good 90% of men or more that you guys are doing nothing. And it's not even they can't fuck. Even if they can, because their vagina does not behave in a certain way, regardless of what skills you may have or may not have, you'll never make her orgasm, because orgasms don't come from the man. So even beyond ego, it's beyond the man. Orgasms come from your vulva, which is a muscle. So if it is not taught how to behave, regardless of what that guy is doing, and I'm sure some of those guys are doing their best, but their best is not going to make it, because now it's not about your best. It's about the fact that her vagina can't function. Her G-spot membrane does not swell. If it doesn't swell, even I, with all the skills that I've gained, can't cause you to orgasm. My benefit is, I know if I met a woman, if I socially met a woman and she told me, you know, Matheka, like if we sleep together and I don't come, I won't blame you. Now, I'm not in a position to run away, whereas a lot of men do run away, because they're thinking, hold on, now why am I sleeping with you? If you're not going to come and I'm the only one coming, like what's the point? Yeah, because there's a guy who's in that space. Now, for me, it's not even a challenge. I'm looking at you going like, don't you know that I'm going to help you? Yeah, because I have been in a position where socially you meet a woman and you have a thing, and what she gains out of it is she's now learned something about her vagina function, and she's able to tell you later in life, like, oh my God, my sex life has really improved because what used to be called coming, I'm actually feeling it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's beyond men. It's the vagina needs to have the capacity to be able to have spasms. And when your G-spot does not swell, you can't have spasms, so you can't have an orgasm. So it's not about us. Men have never given a woman an orgasm. A man is just a tool, just like a vibrator. That's what we are. We just happen to be organic. If people thought about it that way, then there would be happier homes. I just had a couple session, and that guy learned so much by just watching me and then partaking. And then he was like, oh my God, I've been getting this all wrong. I used to have sex based on my male ego. Now I've understood it's got nothing to do with me. It's not my failure. I did not understand her anatomy. And she did not understand her anatomy as well, because, I mean, who are we kidding? A lot of women don't even know their own bodies. They don't even touch their vaginas until they have a session with me. They're like, oh my God, I can touch that? Or when a woman says, I have never placed my finger inside my vagina, so I'm feeling it for the first time now. And she's 45. I'm perplexed.
Because it's your body.
It's your body. You see? The only difference is for us men, it's a penis that's external. So you get to touch it, whether you like it or not. Whereas a woman, especially if she comes from a background where she's been told, no, the vagina is sacred, it should only be touched by the man who becomes your husband, then she's not going to dabble and investigate, because she's thinking, I was created for a man to investigate. Yet most of these men are clueless, because he wasn't born with a vagina. So how would he know it?
Exactly.
Unless you uniquely study that part of the anatomy, like I did, then you see it scientifically, then you get to know the vagina.
Do you think men and women are interested in learning more about the vagina?
What I've learned in life is there are pools of people who are aligned to your thought process. Like even when we go out, I can tell the men who are masimbas and the men who are not. I can tell the women who want to explore and the woman who is on her phone.
What's a masimba?
I created that based on, in Kenya we have a lot of mafisis. And what are mafisis? The men who are just scavengers. Like they will take anything, they'll say anything. And most of these mafisis are the guys who end up being your boyfriends and your husbands. Because one, they're also very good liars. They know what to tell you, when to tell you. They know how to feed you the bullshit.
Con men.
Yes, but you're also part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because you listen to them.
Yeah.
If the truth is, the masimba is the guy who uniquely understands that sexually a woman needs to enjoy her sexuality. However, in the courtship area, we're not known to sell bullshit. So if, Bobbie, I'm into you and Mafisi is into you, chances are Bobbie's going to end up with a Mafisi.
I don't think so.
No, I think so.
Okay, let's not
Maybe
use
not
Bobbie.
you. Okay.
Yeah, let's use
probably not the best. Probably not the best example.
Yeah.
But in most scenarios,
Yeah.
she will go with Mafisi because Mafisi told her all the futuristic things she thinks she wants to hear. Not she wants to hear. She thinks like he sounds genuine and he's playing a tune and I understand. Like maybe I don't want to get married, but he's telling me that there's a possibility
nice
that he could be a
things and
boyfriend
fairy
that ends up.
tales.
Whereas Masimba is just telling you, hey, I wouldn't mind making you squirt. Yes.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, no, that's too forward. And why didn't you tell me that on the third or fourth date? Trust me, Masimbas don't do third and fourth date. We just don't. For what?
Okay, so after we fuck
what?
once, it's over?
No, and that's the thing. Kwani, when you fuck this guy who's giving you futuristic, first, he's the one who's going to bail on you, not me. It's so weird. Women have never gotten that. The guy who tells you, day one, I'm attracted to you, I would like to fuck you. The one thing women fail to understand is he's the most genuine guy you've met. Mafisi over here, yes, I even know what he's doing. Hence why most women are lured to him. He's telling you, you know what, I'm not even here for the sex. I want to take you for dinner. See, you smiled. So you knew exactly what the Mafisi is doing. Oh, I'm not here for the sex. Then he takes you for lunch, dinner. Then he starts pulling chairs he's never pulled before. Then he does, like, let's say he's the one who picked you up. So even when he drops you off, like he has to pretend he's bothered about your security. So are you in the house?
Oh, Maurice.
I know what they do.
Are you saying the romantic men are just liars? All of them are
Romantic
liars?
man, that guy needs your coochie. How come he's not romantic when it's just me and him in the car? How come he does not ask me, Maurice, are you safely in the house? How come he's not asking, hey, George, are you in the house? Like, even George will, wait, you called me to ask me if I'm in the house. That's not a conversation.
This is
we're
so
going to have.
interesting.
Well, no,
Wait.
listen. If he's that romantic, how come he doesn't use all these coined phrases when he's around men? Why doesn't he do that? No, if I'm his boy, yeah, even if he's just texting me, hey, dude, maybe he's like,
I love you, my bro.
Yeah, okay, probably don't go down, don't go down the road of I love you, my bro. You might get a rude awakening. But the point is, there's nothing romantic about that guy. What he's doing is he's trying to feed you something that only women can be fed. Oh, he called to check. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, or like. Maybe even a neighbor is like, that guy who dropped you. Do you know he was out there for 5 minutes checking to see if you entered?
He doesn't leave till I'm inside the house.
Nah. Listen, if you had a penis between your legs, that car would have left a long time ago.
Maurice, you're really busting bubbles.
No, because I'm telling the truth. I've lived on this planet long enough to know most of these niggas, it's not romantic. He just knows what he's planting. Versus me who just told you, today I just want to flex with your vagina. I just need you to squirt in my mouth. But I am genuine. And you see, once this guy does all this stuff, when you choose to give him that cookie that he wants, then he starts to flake out. Now, he used to pick you up. Now he's the one texting you, yes, you get an Uber. You started picking her up. Not like you don't drive, but he said, no, why do we need 2 cars? I'll come pick you up. If you started on that note, why is she Ubering now? Why are you Ubering now? Why is he suddenly taking you to cheaper restaurants when he took you to a nice Japanese restaurant where the bill came to 15, 20, 25 Gs? Now, why are you going to Kamaki's all the time? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Kamaki's, but you guys...
Comparison,
yeah. I mean, come on. Why has that changed? Whereas... the guy who told you he wants you to squirt in his mouth, he's going to consistently take you to where he eats. I want you to know me. I don't want you to know the fictitious me. Can we go to all these nice places that this Mafisi is taking you? Yes. But we're going there because we like eating there. We're not going there because I'm trying to impress you. That's the difference. So women can't tell between genuine and fake. But you're very good at falling for fake because fake tells you what you want to hear.
Okay, so how are we supposed to tell the difference between a man who's being genuine and a man who's being, who's lying. Because how women have been socialized is, like you've just mentioned,
Yes.
from birth, we are conditioned to think our bodies belong to men. We're conditioned to think, this
Or belong
fairy
to a
tale,
certain man.
this fairy tale that you're chasing.
Yes.
You go to school, blah blah blah. You get married. This guy will start katiaing you. He will tell you these things. He will show you he wants to get married. He will come and see your parents. He will pay your rent. Blah 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 blah. Then he will finally marry you. That's what we've been sold. A lot of us women, from when we're very very young, we're told this is the sequence of life. This is how it goes. So how is it my fault when I'm 25 years old, 26, meeting this guy who's following this script that I have been fed from my religion, from my society, from my culture, from the home, from my parents, from all the media that I'm consuming online, kina, Princess and the Sijihu, Princess and the Frog, all the shows that we're watching.
Yes.
That's the sequence that they take.
Yes.
So then, now I'm actually out in the dating pool where I'm meeting these men, and these men, that's how they're approaching me. They're coming, hey Bobbie, I like you, I want to date you. He's taking me to the nice restaurants. He's doing all these things I've been told a man is supposed to do, or this is what a man is supposed to look like when he's actually pursuing me. So how am I supposed as a woman, because already niko disadvantaged kwa hii game, already nakuja kwa board na notion that a man who is pursuing you actively and he likes you, whether the end goal is sex, whether atapitia marriage, ama atakupeleka Dubai, end goal ni sex in the end. How am I supposed to tell the difference between the guy who's being honest and the guy who's just doing stuff to please me? Because for a while, they kind of look alike, like the same person.
Look for the guy who has balls. There's one thing that women always say, oh, I wish I'd met a man who has balls. And balls, your meaning is, I wish you had a man who just has his standing. Like, he's not going to be swayed by the social arena. He'll just tell it as it is. That's what a real man does. But some of you like these mafisis, macats, so you like soft men. You like men who tune themselves to the frequency they think you want to hear. You see, you're not used to the man's man. And look at it this way. You and I can dangerously talk about a certain demographic. Yet, if you look at Kenya, like many other countries, there is a Kenyan man who will never take you to a cinema, who will never take you to these fancy restaurants. Does that make him less of a man? No. He can probably push your vagina to places all these flaky lobster guys will never. But you will never date that guy because you and him are not in the same social circles. He'll never approach you. He could be what we call the border guys. And this has got nothing to do with the border guy, but we're just trying to look at the different demographic that exists.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Maybe the guys who approach you, and it's not maybe, they can take you to fancy restaurants. Correct?
Yes.
You can ask that guy for an iPhone, and an iPhone appears in 5 minutes. Majority of Kenyan men, like many Kenyan men around the world, it's not a Kenyan thing, they come from a demographic where they cannot afford that iPhone. And most likely in their lifetime will never afford it. Does that make them less men? So we need to understand what is it to be a man first. In terms of how you're courting a woman. And the first thing is, be honest, not to you, but to myself. If I meet you and I want you to get to know me, the way you're like, I know Maurice is a sexologist, but who is Maurice? Then I tell you, you know what? I don't like going to a restaurant. Let's go fish our own food. Let's go to a river and fish. Now, knowing many of these Kilimani chicks, you know what I'm talking about, and Quiver. They'll be like, we go fishing in a river. I can't even swim. I want to catch fish, not fucking have you swimming. So how you... Okay, then again, I need you safety. So I might not even go fishing with you because you'll probably kill the entire experience.
Vibe, yeah.
Exactly. But my point is, I'm telling her, this is me. If you thought I was going to play the tune of what every other guy is trying to do, Yes, I'll go to this restaurant because I eat at that restaurant and I was hungry and that's the restaurant I go to. I'm not taking you to that restaurant to impress you. That's the difference. But in today's world, and that's now answering your question, you've got to look at what genuine used to look like 30, 40 years ago is very different today, even for us as men. Yes? Women don't value a man the way women used to value a man 40 years ago. 40 years ago should be like, you know what? When I met him, he didn't have shoes. Today, you need to have shoes. When I met him, he didn't even know he could buy a car. Today, you need to have a car. Things have shifted, but now we're only talking about a certain demographic. But when you go down to what you call the normal Kenyan guy, when he takes a chick to Uhuru Park and buys her soda and a queen cake, and they have a picnic on the Lesso and stuff like that, I would call that more genuine love than the crap that I'm seeing in all these lavish restaurants. Because all these lavish restaurants, it's just me trying to entertain you with my wallet. I can afford to take you to a place where there's a guy playing the piano very quietly. And for you, you're thinking, wow, this guy's so romantic. No, I'm not romantic. My wallet affords me what you call romance. It gives me the opportunity to take you to an ambience that you call romantic. But for me, I'm just thinking, dude, play it even more quietly, because right now you're tuning into her vagina. That's where I need to be.
Let me ask.
Yes.
Don't you think these are ways of showing romance? The difference is probably the demographic in terms of like social status.
Yes.
Because what you're saying then could mean that when someone is being lavish with you, it's fake. And then when they're poor and broke, up on the sasa ni real.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Is that what you mean?
What I'm trying to say is, when I meet you and I tell you, come over to my place, let's have a drink. Most women are thinking, this guy thinks I'm an idiot. So going to his place means we're going to have sex. Yet that's not what I said.
But that's what most men do.
But you've just met a guy who's able to tell you, I want us to go and have a drink at my place. Now there's another guy who will not make it about sex. Neither did I. But now he's trying to camouflage it with
movies.
Let me take you somewhere special. Then you probably go to that movie, you go bowling, then he drops you home. Then 2 days later, you go for another activity, then he drops you home. 2 days after that, another activity. Do you know the only difference between me and this guy? I'm just telling you, generally right now, I don't want to have you based on bowling. I don't want to be a romantic guy during bowling. I don't want to be a romantic guy during some fake Italian restaurant I took you for. I want you to come to my place. Let's have a drink, because I'm not going to touch you unless you want me to touch you. You can leave my place without having sex. But let's go to my place and have a drink. Once I get to know you, then I want to take you bowling. Do you know the one thing that men don't like talking about is the way you want to feel safe around me, the way you want to make you, I want to feel worthy. So I have to do things. But now what are you doing to be worthy to me? You're wondering, okay, how come Maurice not take me bowling? How come he's not taking me to the restaurant? What have you done to earn that? I'm that guy that you guys don't meet that often. You're used to the guy who has to sell himself all the time. I want you to sell you to me as well. Why should I take you for a movie? Why should I take you to that concert? By the way, one thing about me is, even if I'm katia you, I want us, by the time we start indulging in things, I want to know this is mutual.
Yes.
The one thing men like me do not like feeling is like you're doing me a favor. Girl, you're going to be squirting, not me. The mafisi you like going for because you like his lines, he does not know how to engage your vagina the way I do. So I value myself as a man. These men who are throwing money at you have no value other than the money. I have value. I would rather sleep alone and watch a movie than try to over-impress you. I want to impress you when I'm like, wow, I know her.
Like now when you give a fuck.
And she is. And she's I can see she's a woman who can grow to have my back. And this is despite the fact that we've just said this is casual, but I know you have my back. And sometimes out of casual, we could suddenly be dating, because this is how it works. You and I can agree we're just going to have something casual. And I get to know you over 2, 3, 4 months. By the 5th month, I am the one who has fallen in love, not you. You're like, I like him in his space, but how he's feeling about me versus how I'm feeling about him, we're not at the same place. So even women forget that. Even us, we fall in love. It's because I'm always hearing, oh, hit and run. No. Unless you're not aware, the best hit and run experts are you guys, not us. If men in this Nairobi could tell you their stories, because I meet the women, and the women are the ones telling me, Matheka, imagine I went out on a date with a guy, and yes, I told him that we were going to fuck, but I didn't tell him we were going to fall in love.
Yeah.
So when the guy started
cuddling and
calling me in the morning, hey babes, I missed you, I'm like,
hell no.
And I just had to, but you see how she told him, can we just meet for coffee, because there's something I need to tell you. And she told him to his face, hey, lovey-dovey, slow it down. Do I like what we have? Do I like what's between your legs? Yes. And we agreed that we're here for what's between our legs. Yes, we agreed we'll have some adult talk, yes. But now the lovey-dovey you're doing, why are you texting me at 6 a.m.? Why are you asking me what I had for lunch?
That's not what this was.
Yes. Do you know how many guys are heartbroken in this Nairobi based on that? More than us bouncing. And to be honest, I know for a fact that a lot of men who will sleep with you, they don't bail because you are not good. They bail because you are too good. I can already tell if we continue this, I'll just embarrass myself. The two stingos I've seen Bobbie has, where I don't think I can manage. The ones, yes. But continuously, no. So it's like the guy who knows he can't manage one woman. And then you come and tell him seductively, but they have talked to that friend of mine. You remember that cute friend of mine? And we've agreed that 2 weeks from now we're going to have a threesome. This guy is going to bail. He's going to disconnect. He's going to block you. Why? Because he's asked himself, I can hardly manage her. Now she wants to bring in her friend. This is going to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Out. Because I've talked to enough guys to ask them, have you ever been accused of bailing on a woman? And he said yes. Tell me the truth.
What was
Why?
the reason?
Is it because her sex was bad? Is it because she's boring? Most guys know, bro. Me, I knew she did not have an orgasm. And the kind of energy that woman will need for an orgasm to happen, me, I don't have that energy. And there's no way I'm going to have this conversation with her. So, dude, I did what we do best. I just bailed.
Yeah.
But you're left in limbo thinking,
I wasn't good enough.
I wasn't good enough. Oh, my pussy was smelling. No. Your pussy was doing a lot of work that he cannot maintain.
I like that you're bringing, the men side of things, especially, when you've been hurt a lot of times, especially, and I think most of Kenyans, let me say most people are dating or engaging in sexual activity from a place of traumatic experiences. Yeah. They're like, I've been ghosted before, so I know how it's coming when I see it. I can pinpoint it and I'll ghost you before you ghost me. When we could rather have the conversations way easier and just talk about it. I say that because I like that you've mentioned that the man could know he's inadequate in any way. And inadequate is not necessarily a negative thing. Ni tu kujijua na kujua level umefika.
And I'm glad you've said, he's actually not inadequate. What he's done from experience, he said, if I continued sleeping with her, I'll continue to disappoint her. Now, one thing you as women do very well is, you didn't come, but if you're asked, you'd be like, no, sex with him was not bad. Yeah. But not bad over a long time. At some point, you'd be like, okay, now I think I need more from him. Yeah. You see, there is something about him you liked. So you wouldn't mind having that sex where you did not come again. But for the guy who is supposed to be the mandingo that he has sold himself to be, he's already saying, whoa, first I know I've oversold. That's another thing. For him to have gotten between your legs, he oversold. Maybe he's those guys of you. The chandeliers you're going to climb. Yeah? And he's never owned a chandelier. Then he realizes, oh my God, I cannot manage. He's going to bail.
Yeah.
He's not going to send you a text and say, I would like to see you.
Yeah.
But futuristically, I don't see this working because I'm going to disappoint you. No man is ready to, relinquish that kind of truth. So he'd rather just ghost you.
Okay, that's quite honest. That's really, really honest. You brought up that, a lot of times women are faking their orgasms. Do you think women, I can answer why women do it, but what do you think is the reason that women are faking orgasms?
Well,
already the gap is so big.
Because I've done this for a very long time. Maybe there's a time it was about my thoughts, but because I've heard these stories from thousands of women over the years, the one thing I can tell you is they fake it because it's my man.
Ego boost.
I don't want him to be disappointed. I don't want him to think that he's doing nothing in bed. I'll protect him. And then there's one thing that women know how to do is protect us. Like a woman can come and bitch to her girls that my man is shit in bed, he disappoints me, sometimes I don't want to see him. But dare you say something negative about her, she'll be like, whoa.
Only I can say those things.
Only I can trash him.
Yeah.
When you talk about him, please say all the good things about him. Because you're not the one fucking him. Do you see what I'm saying? So women are very good at protecting us. Sometimes to the detriment of your own vaginas.
Yeah, but because you think it's a healthy thing to be doing. Do you
No.
think... So
No.
how do we go around this
Do you know why?
situation?
Do you know why? And I will face that camera over there.
Yeah. Talk to the people.
Especially to the married women or the women who believe they're engaging in a very sexually monogamous relationship. It's time you stopped playing around with what you really want. You want to be satisfied. And if your man is your man, he will agree that you deserve to be satisfied. So instead of cushioning him, you don't have to tell him he's bad in bed, but you can tell him, babe, it's time we upgraded and did something that works for me as well. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's plenty of married men, whether they like it or not, when the side chick says, this is how we are going sexually, he starts doing things he'd never do at home. Oh, I can never go down on a woman. Now he's a go-downer.
Yeah.
He has a PhD in lickery.
Go down.
Yes, he's a master. He's involving yogurts and chocolates. And guess who taught him? Side chick. And do you know why he had to do it? Because side chick didn't have to tell him, Aki, if you don't do it, see, I'll just call Matheka. You see, I had to put myself in that story. Somehow I had to engage with myself. But you see where I'm going with this story?
Yeah.
So he has to maintain his relevance by doing things he would not ordinarily do with his own woman. And what happens is when you culture that kind of nonsense, you're forgetting the way she has taught you. There's another nigger who's going to hear that you don't do this for your wife.
He's going to do it.
And he's going to be like, my tongue is ready and willing. Do you see? It's even waggling by the fact that we're having this conversation. And at some point when she decides, you know what, fuck it, let's do this, she'll do it. Yet, you have a very well-functioning tongue that you don't use in your own home. Do you see what I'm saying? And another thing is, because somebody uses this terminology, I hate it, when people say, oh, in our matrimonial bed. First that word, matrimonial, God.
It is sacred, Matheka.
It's
Sacred bed.
It sounds like the death of sex. Like, just say bed. Stop adding the matrimonial
How will you know I'm
nonsense.
married if I don't say matrimonial?
Yes, but when you say matrimonial and you're trying to defend the fact that you're actually not having good sex, one of the reasons why you're not having good sex is because stop using the word matrimonial, because your vagina and the penis are not aware that you're married.
Doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter. What matters is what can we do to give each other the stimulus that we deserve. That's the conversation I want us to have. I deal with humans. I don't deal with even when I'm with couples, I tell them I'm dealing with you as humans. right now, when you're with me, you're not Mr. and Mrs. You're a man, you're a woman. Let's deal with your physiology and how we can get it to sync. And more so, how do you as the man get to understand her, because you have a predisposition of being able to ejaculate as your male orgasm, but she doesn't have the same. So I need you to understand what her G-spot requires for you as the man. When you keep asking her, am I deeper, am I bigger, babe, have you come? All these things are going to manifest if you understand how her G-spot works.
You won't even need to ask the questions. You'll
Yes,
know for sure.
Exactly. And it's not, in that way, now a man starts thinking very different. It's not about, I'm a man and I should know all these things. Taught by who? Even when men watch porn, men don't like hearing this. The person that they relate to the most is the man, not the woman. So they look at what the man is doing. They can hear her moaning, but they don't relate to her. So even his ejaculation, his ejaculation is from watching the man, not the woman.
Oh my goodness, they're not going to be happy with you.
Yes, but guess what? All men who have watched porn, I've told even to some of my friends, and when they watch porn, they're like, oh, now I understand what you're saying. I'm feeling the sensation of coming because I can see what he's doing could make me come. But I can't tell when she's going to come because I don't have a vagina.
Mind blown.
You see?
Yeah.
And you see it. Yeah, but now the problem is, why are we looking at it as if by you understanding what another man is doing makes you gay? It doesn't. It just makes you
a human
being. And you can relate with that human being because he has the same sexual organs as you. When he is moaning in a certain way, you know that moan far better than just guessing what this woman could be moaning about.
Yeah.
And already, aren't we discussing the fact that women are faking it?
Yeah.
So clearly, for you to fake it means I, as a man, will not tell if is real or not. But I can tell if another guy is about to come and he starts barking like a Rottweiler, I can tell he's faking it. Because that's not how we sound when we're coming.
This makes so much sense. This
You
makes
see?
so much sense because many women are not orgasming, so many men don't even know what a woman whose orgasm
Yes, but as
looks
long as
like
there's
or
a
feels
sound,
like.
and some men even look for traces of wetness.
And then the legs shaking.
And legs shaking. Maybe she's shaking because she's thinking of a song that was playing in the car before she had sex. Who knows? Or if her eyes roll. And maybe she's rolling because she's like, oh God, when is he going to finish? And Amy's thinking, oh my God, she must be coming. This must be her way
A lot of us have that thought. Yeah. Oh, can he just finish so he can get off?
Yeah,
Off
or
me.
maybe you start having goose pimples,
Yeah.
yet it's like a window that was open, but the guy's thinking, oh my God, I'm causing goose pimples. I must be the mandingo. How does he know? He doesn't know.
Yeah.
But if he watches something that he can relate to, which is like another man having sex, he knows exactly what he's doing to her. So that can cause him to get aroused. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Even women will always say, oh my God, she looks sexy. There is a look sexy coming from a woman that most men will never get. And that's why you find today a lot of women who know what they're doing will touch a woman in a way that causes her to have an orgasm, yet a man will struggle for years. Years. I've had women tell me, I had a session with a woman, and that session was an hour. And in that hour, she did what my husband has not done in 9 years. That is a strong statement. 9 years versus an hour?
And it's true.
And guess what? Us as men, we should not be freaked out by that. If anything, now even the men that I call Masimbas, the way we should think about it is, a Masimba would say, wow, that news is scary, but it's not going to scare me. Now I want to understand what that woman was doing in an hour. And because I am a man who can learn the skills that she has, now I can enjoy both worlds.
Yes.
I can enjoy the femininity in me, and I can have my masculine side complement the feminine side. Do you know men who are very in touch with their feminine side will always pleasure a woman more than the men who are just masculine?
Absolutely, absolutely.
But most men don't want to hear that.
Men don't even, they can't even accept they have any femininity within them because they tie femininity to weakness and
Yes.
being.
I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. You know, everybody says there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Gold Mine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, I was going for, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend, that friend who is always asking you for cash, you can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming.
Yet, the same men who talk about being masculine and the fact that a real man should not be wearing lotion, when they're around their concubines and their side chicks, they wear lotion. They wear cologne. They look good. They smell good.
They carry umbrellas.
But in their homes, they're perspiring onions and sweat. Because apparently that's being masculine. Listen, you're an animal, but you're not fucking buffalo. And in today's age, unless your woman has a fetish for onion-smelling men, smell good. It's part of the process. And it depends on the demographic you're in. But if you're in that demographic where you like going to nice restaurants, you like going to the mall, you can afford to go out to all these resorts and fly out of the country, then smell good, is what I'm saying. Or like play the game of, you see, it's like, for example, I'm here talking to you. We can go for dinner and we have a conversation. We can go to your shags or my shags. And I meet a chick who looks like you, who's pretty like you. But can I take her to the same restaurant I can take you, and we have a long conversation for 3 hours? What are we
Probably
going
not.
to discuss? Yes, that's the thing. What are we going to discuss? And that's why, as a man, I cannot go to my shags, pick that girl up. And because she's vulnerable to the world, I think because I have power over her, that I'm suddenly going to be excited. I will take her to a restaurant and I will embarrass all of us. Because one, we're going to run out of things to talk about. Because the thing she's going to talk about, I can't engage with that. Not I can't, I'm not familiar with it.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
You can try, but like there's only
Yes.
so much.
I'm trying to be my kind of whatever romance looks like for me. You will get it, she won't. And then at some point I'll be like, you know what? She does not even appreciate. She can't appreciate what she's never experienced. I can take her for all the nice dinners, movies, whatever. Matter of fact, I take her to a movie, she might ask me, okay, why are we watching guys in a very large screen?
We have a laptop at home.
Yes, and why are there so many other people with us? Like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't like this. Yet there's another woman from the same demographic as me who understands why we went to and why we're feeding each other popcorn. I'm giving her popcorn. She's not used to popcorn. She's thinking, why are you giving me these tasteless things? And why is this one too sugary or too salty? You see, who's to blame? Me, not her. So the same thing applies to women. You also have to look at the men that you're allowing them to court you beyond the money. Because women come and tell me, Matheka, my husband, he has money, but he's not romantic. Yeah, but your version of romantic is based on you thinking that he knows what you need as romance. First, you can't tell me your husband came from Shags, came to Nairobi, find money. Now he smells good, wears whatever, drives the right car, blah, 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 blah. And you want him to take you for a movie. He's never taken anyone for a movie. He's never seen his dad go for a movie. None of his cousins, uncles. He didn't come from that background. He came from the village. And there's nothing wrong with the village. But now you got into signing up something with a guy who's never going to give you that. I've met guys who are like, dude, I have the money, but I'm wondering, why does she want to go to a restaurant where I have to drop 20 G's and I'm not full? That's the guy who's saying, okay, we went there and enjoyed our food, but they brought me a small fish like this. I don't know if it was in a small tank that I don't know what happened. They didn't allow the fish to grow.
6,000 shillings.
For 6 G's. like this, it says, with some salad here. Or it says, kanyasi kalikuja hapa. You know, and then this guy, he has to tell himself, now after this, we have to drive to Kamaki's.
Yeah.
To eat nyama so I can be full.
Yeah.
He can afford this little fish every day, but he's thinking practicality, what's going on? And then why are these guys bringing very hot towels that are burning me? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do we need this? So we just go to the normal taps. There are women who call me and say, Aki Maurice, I don't know what you're going to do, but you need to start a school for men. And ask her why. This guy's taking me out on a date. You should see him. He's just a man's man, blah, blah, blah. And he said he's taking me out on a date, blah, 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 blah. The date ended up being a nice lunch, but he invited 3 of his male friends. And she's like, I thought it's a date. He said, yeah, but date si ni kukula. Si tunakula. And these are my pals. But she does not understand.
And he's oblivious, kabisa.
No, he does not understand. She's not getting that this is what a date looks like to him.
This is what he knows to be a date.
Yes, but you wanted that date of we're sat across each other, then I take your hand. Hey, what's up? This nigga doesn't know those things.
Yeah.
And you might hold his hand and he says, "Ay, see uko na kajoto." Like you just kill the entire. But you're subscribing to that guy. Why? Because he came with money, but that money doesn't mean he's going to be your kind of romance.
Yes, absolutely.
And then he's not wrong. It's just this is a mismatch. You see what I'm saying?
A lot of people are not able to overlook the money, even if they're not getting what they want. Like money has become such a stable.
Oh yeah.
That's the.
Yeah.
Do you have money? And then now I can see if I enjoy being around you. When it should be like, do I enjoy being around you? Then the money is like a bonus. Like, yes.
Yes, but you see, another thing that's changed is now I have to have the money. We can't build the money together. if you look at our parents, our grandparents, they had a story where when we met, we lived in what we call a studio today. And the toilet was not even in the studio. There was like a corridor to go to the toilet and the bathroom. Today, how many chicks are you going to take?
Not me.
There you go. So already you're not in this equation. I'm not seeing you with like a towel in that corridor going to the loo.
Yeah.
Now I have to have my shit cut out.
Yeah.
You need to come to comfort. Oh, there's a sofa, there's this, there's that. The toilet smells good. Kube, he knows. I like to go to Zanzibar.
But that's just the Robertas. Kuna wale kwa ground wenye wanakubali hizo bedsitter na hizo nini.
Yes, but you see, those kwa ground you're talking about, she still has that guy of ground, but that's the chick today who can tell you that when her man is struggling to make 10 Gs, Akosi 50 Gs, because she's with that guy of ground, but she's also mingling with these guys of Kamakis who are sending her 5 Gs, 10 Gs, 20 Gs. Do you see what I'm saying? Today I'm meeting a lot of women who are telling me, yeah, I have 2-3 guys on the go. Kwani? Why is it an issue and you guys usually have 3 of us on the go? The only difference is when she puts money on the table, you realize you don't have money.
Because you are giving and now she's being
Yes. You don't. You're not on the same playing field.
Oh my God.
You're just not. When you meet a campus chick and she literally tells you, my phone does not cost her 120 Gs. Do you know how many men in Kenya can tell you constantly they have 120 Gs on their phone?
Kidogo sana.
Yes. It's I mean, if you look at the demographic, how many guys in Nairobi take home 100,000? Take home. And assuming there's, I don't know, I can't give a number, but this guy of 100 Gs, you expect him to use 30% of his salary every time he goes out. And you want to go out 3 times a month.
Pesa inaisha. Wiki ya kwanza.
He has not paid rent.
Black tax.
He has not paid black tax. He has not paid KPLC, water,
Yeah.
his own trimmings,
Employees.
nothing. So if that guy goes to Kwiga 2-3 times, salo imenda. Please. And then the other side of this coin is, and that's one thing I've been teaching women, at least in the last 2 years, is the women who are saying, oh, me, I want that guy who has a lot of money. Let me tell you something. Niggas who have a lot of money, I'm talking about the kind of guy who spending 100 Gs whenever he goes out is like,
Nothing.
come on, 100 Gs, that's pocket change. That guy, you want him to be sexually monogamous with one vagina. He'll ask you as who? I've met them. That's a guy who tells his wife, wait, after all the things I do for you, I fly you out of the country with your friends who are married to guys who cannot afford the shit I can afford. That's why I'm also buying dresses for your girls here. And you're telling me I can't go out to have sex with other people and then I come home. As who?
So do you mean like that when men make money, they're unable to be disciplined?
No, they're not. It's not about unable. The difference is our fathers were groomed by our mothers and vice versa. Today you're meeting that man when he's already made the money. You're coming in to dictate us who. That's the difference. I'm self-made. We didn't grow together. You see that cubicle you've refused with the whatever to the toilet. We need to start there.
But they were still cheating and beating on our moms.
No, I didn't say that those guys were faithful. But now, let me tell you what now their generation of men who have died out used to say. You guys think that you're men because you have a wife and you have 2 girlfriends. Us guys had a wife and then another wife and a family. Each home had 1 or 2 children. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to make those niggas look good, but in comparison to us, those were men. Do you know why? Because your kid will start asking questions. Why is there another kid in our school that looks like us? Then at some point now he'll reveal to your mom, whether she likes it or not, that yes, I have another family. And they only live 10 minutes down the road. Oh yeah, and there's another one in Eldoret. Do you see what I'm saying? Now those were real men in comparison to today.
According to society.
Yes. And why we, like, our mothers knew that was happening because it's only our grandfathers' generation that polygamy started to die out. Official. Today is non-official. I also don't support men who are saying, oh, because my grandfather was polygamous. You're not polygamous, both. Just say you like pussy.
Vagina.
They'll respect.
Acha story mingi
when you are outfitting 2-3 homes and everyone in that home is feeding and all the kids are going to the same schools, then I will say you're polygamous.
Yes.
Until then, please just join the line of guys who just like vagina. And there's nothing wrong with liking a lot of vagina.
That's true.
But stop selling yourself as somebody who's monogamous. I've never sold myself as monogamous because I don't believe in it. It's not my thing. But if I start subscribing to it, I'm only lying to you as a woman. So at some point you start calling me a dog, not because I'm a dog, it's because I've subscribed to something I can't sustain. And guess what? There are plenty of women who think like me. So we align in the whole, I don't believe in monogamy either. But our bond is stronger than those who are in monogamous relationships. Do you see?
Yeah.
Especially now that couples are trying, some couples, not many, trying to be polyamorous, where you're together, but you have other partners.
Like an open relationship.
Yeah, I don't like that word open because it means the rest are closed, and that's why they're probably knocking doors down to go to Naivasha to fuck other people. But the point is, what I've noticed with a lot of humans is when you give them a lot of freedom, that discipline you're talking about, it comes in. A guy who is polyamorous is far more disciplined
than a
the
monogamous guy.
Because the monogamous guy knows that he's not allowed to fuck other vaginas. So he's going to fuck as many as possible.
Okay, that's true psychologically. I can see that how that can
No,
come
I
about.
met a guy who told me he went on some work thing in LD and he lives in Machakos. This is how he described. He said, Matheka, because you know me, I'm a married man. I decided to drive, not fly. Why? Purposely. From LD, I drove to Nakuru. I concocted I was doing business in Nakuru. Hakuna biashara. There's a kachik I was doing there. From Nakuru, I concocted another story that I had to stop over at Narok. There was another chick there. Then he came to the one in Nairobi. So by the time he got to Machakos, there was another one in Atriva. Now, he can behave for the next 2-3 months as a monogamous.
He's had enough.
Yes.
Enough.
Until his quest comes
back.
Yes. When he's sent to Mombasa, now he'll deal with Mombasa. You see? Yet, a guy who's polyamorous would have driven straight from LD to his home in Machakos without having...
Kind of funny what he wanted.
Why? Because his monogamous life already avails for him the kind of sex he wants. So he's not in a rush for it. But the guy in monogamy, he feels trapped. So he has to have it when he has the avenue. Because once he goes home, he then has to play another part of being monogamous.
I want to bring the conversation back to the orgasm gap. This is so interesting to listen to, but it's always nice like to get an insight into the man's mind, especially because I do this thing where I decided I don't argue with men, I don't counter men, I listen and I believe everything they say. Because it's easier to just listen to the words and see what someone is saying and believe them, because I'm not a man. I've never been a man. That's why getting insights from a man into how men think and how they reason and how they behave, it's always very interesting and very insightful. So I like that you've brought, all those ways to think about sex especially. So I'd like to ask, Maurice, what do you think we can do to close this orgasm gap, to make it a bit narrower than it is right now? what do you think ni remedy yenye tunaweza anza kuapply size? Because especially coming from a point where, you know, see gender wars, let's say the men are actually accepting, hey, I don't have to apply ego when I'm having sex. I'm here to learn and I'm ready to know what I need to do. And the women are here to say, hey, I want to teach you about my body. I want us to learn together. So speak to this squad of people who are ready.
One of the things that we need to do, I'm not optimistic about it though, is we need to change our engraved social thinking about sexuality. Men need to be far more open to be told, you're not a good kisser, you're rough in bed, and when we're having sex, it's almost like you're fucking yourself because the rhythms you use, they work for you, they don't work for me. If we can have that conversation and men say, yeah, we're willing to actually listen, then I can see that gap at least not being as crazy as it is. But I'm not optimistic because most men are driven by ego, and we live in a world where women have to constantly please the man. I don't see that changing very often. If we can go back to having sexual boot camps for now women to learn about themselves, to be taught about themselves, that will make it easier for the women to be able to achieve an orgasm.
Oh, for even women to just center their own orgasms.
Yes, but now those centers need to be more than even the gyms we have in our communities, even more than the churches we have in our communities. That's why I'm not optimistic. It shouldn't be. I mean, I've only seen, 6,600 women? That's a drop in the ocean if you look at the fact that we've got billions of women around the world. We've got how many women in Kenya? Is it 30 million or whatever it is? When I'm talking about 6,000, what is that? It's nothing. Yes, I've done something, but it needs to be community-based. It should not be in a society where sex is taboo and seeing Matheka is the only option. Yeah, you see, like the way women are going for all these fitness gyms and there's an instructor there and all this stuff based on that South African guy who, that gym, that focus, that interest, that should be a boot camp for women to learn about their bodies. So that when they're at home, as much as the man is having an orgasm, the woman's also having an orgasm because it's very important for the woman to have an orgasm. If we can do that and it becomes a societal thing, we know that exists, and we actually start embracing sexuality without sexualizing it, then things are going to work out. I mean, look at the fact that some men are complaining that some of you look like hoes just because of the fact that we're seeing so many women going to the gym. And look at the gym wear you're wearing. Your gym wear looks amazing.
They hate my tattoos.
Yes, but yeah.
Because of
but those men don't need to be in your space.
Yeah.
So fuck those niggas. Yeah, they don't need to be in your space.
Yeah.
Now, if men are complaining about trivial things like the fact that your bodies look good in a gym, they want you to wear boiler suits in the gym. Now, those men don't deserve to be inside any vagina. You heard me clearly. Yes, they don't. I've always told people I'm not here to make friends. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm here to tell you as it is. Yeah. So many things in society have to change for sexuality to be different. And the gap is not about us. It's about you guys. So you also have to fight for it. You first stop faking it. Stop faking it.
Would you say everyone's orgasm is their responsibility first before
Yes.
the other person?
Yes. Yes.
That's why we should speak up more. If you're not feeling good, if you're not enjoying it, you should be able to say.
Yes. And book more sessions with me or people like me who can help you get to the next level. Because he won't. You see, I've met guys who are like, until I understood what you talked about, I thought it was just ego. I thought it was just mamas. And then, but now he understands that, wow, I feel so much better when my woman is the one telling me, babe, do you know I came 3 times? She's telling me from a place of, I came. Like, I didn't fake it. Like, I felt it. And did you notice nowadays you don't have to ask me?
Yeah.
Because you see it.
Yeah.
That man now, his psyche changes like, what Matheka talks about is real. And before, he wasn't even feeling that good because at some point it got to a point where it's like, my wife is so good to me that she's made sex about me. Like when I come, she's like, oh babe, I love the way you come. As in, she's told herself, I don't think the vagina will ever manifest coming, so let me just be happy for him. And then when we notice that over a while, that becomes boring.
I was going to ask that next. Isn't it boring even for the man?
It becomes boring when we notice.
Yeah.
When we notice, because there's a guy who told me, and there are many guys who have done this, there's a time he pretended he's massaging her, and all he was doing is he was smothering her with oil, with massage oil, and especially around her inner thighs, because there's something he wanted to do when he got an erection. As he's going towards the vagina, he slipped on purpose and started to hit, but not in the vagina, just around her thighs. And guess what she did? Because she's used to it on cue.
But it feels good, Maurice.
No, but she was doing it to fake it for him. When she opened her eyes, he was there. He was there looking at her like, oh, okay. So this is what you do. And suddenly she noticed, oh my God, he's noticed what I was doing. I was faking it. Do you know the sex stopped? And now for the first time, they had a real conversation. Babe, tell me the truth. Have you been faking it for me? She said yes. Because now she's been caught out. But guess what? He had matured enough to say, I'm not even blaming you. If anything, I feel like the failure, because I should have noticed this a long time ago. I've made the sex about me. So every time you would moan, I'm thinking that must translate into an orgasm. Kumbe, it hasn't. Now he started thinking the way a Masimba thinks. And the way I know the story is because by the time he was basically booking a session with me, this had become his reality. So now he said, that Matheka I usually ignore, now I'm going to call him. Today, that guy makes his wife squat like no one's business. That guy is a mandingo. You should see him even, he's looking down at other men like, even me is about to tell me, Matheka, if you joke around, I'm taking over. I'm the nigga. And guess what? That motivates me.
Yeah.
Yes, I want you to take over.
Yeah.
I want you to be the next Masimba, to teach other Masimbas how to be a Masimba. And if we start thinking like that as men, we will have happier homes, because happier women, happier vaginas make sure we're happy as well. Even the kids will be able to tell, mommy is happy, dad is happy. Shift of mindset.
Yeah.
Shift of how we do things. Better homes.
Very true.
Better homes.
Very true. Guys, the conversation, I have to hold it to there. But it's so true. I mean, the essence of even having these conversations should be towards the betterment of everyone.
Yes.
You know, sex, I should have sex wanting you to feel good.
Yes.
And I should want to feel good myself.
Fantastic.
So we should come together, you know, wanting to be better.
I like that.
And
Come together.
enjoy.
Yes.
Both literally and hypothetically,
Yes.
we should come together.
Yes.
So that has been Maurice Matheka and me, your host, Roberta Bobbie, here on Heartfelt with Bobbie. And I've truly enjoyed this conversation, Maurice.
So have I.
Would you like to come back again?
I will come back.
And come on the podcast?
And come on the
Thank you so much.
As I was saying, I was like, hold on. Yeah, I will come back. Definitely.
Thank you guys so much for joining us during
Cheers.
our hour. I have truly enjoyed this. The orgasm gap. Guys, Maurice amemaliza by kusema communication, conversation. Let's just have honest conversations about it.
Kabisa.
Kama haumwagi, kama haukam, kama hau ejaculate. You know, a lot of women, like you started by saying the conversation, a lot of women, 90%
Yes.
of women don't even know
Will never
they
have an
ejaculate.
orgasm. Never.
They don't even know the difference between orgasming.
Very
or
sad.
They know nothing. So
Yeah.
I hope this conversation leaves you with questions that you should be able to ask. And maybe if you want more insight, you could reach out to Maurice Matheka on social media everywhere across TikTok, X as Maurice Matheka.
Instagram, yes.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yes. Reach out.
Yeah. And
Book a session.
Yeah, book
Condition
a session.
your vagina. If you're a guy, Let's do this.
And if you have any questions for him, please feel free to leave them for us in the comment section. We always read your comments. We really, truly appreciate your feedback. And on Facebook as well, everywhere on social media. You know, Maurice, I forgot to say, the first time I knew of you,
Right.
I think I was in high school.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Right.
But there was this video that went viral of you
2016.
I was just fresh out of high school.
Yeah. Making a woman squirt.
Yeah, on
And
the
there were
floor.
other-
And there was other women
Yes,
surrounding. And I
yes.
was like, this guy.
Yes.
I didn't even know what orgasming was a thing.
Right.
I had never heard about the word. And it's such a full circle moment for you to be seated here speaking with me today when...
I'm delighted.
Yeah, considering, you know, we are kind of in the same industry. So it's
Yes.
such a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for making time for me today.
You're welcome. And keep doing what you do.
Thank you. Karibu tena sana. So guys, tuko karibu kuhit the 100K mark on YouTube. And we shall be throwing a big party for the 100K. So please keep subscribing, keep sending in your comments, liking, sharing our podcast with your friends. And yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to me. My name is Roberta Bobbie across all social media. And check out loveandorgasms.com where I tell you my sex stories and we talk about sex very openly. Please book Maurice for his sessions so that you can have more discussions on sex. So until next time.
Take care, guys. Cheers.